Baby, 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 oh, baby, 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 no. Hello, and welcome to the next excellent episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd look at the top 10 list for Netflix, and then we watch the highest movie, and then we talk about it, and you get to hear about it, and hopefully you enjoy our voices to your sweet, sweet ear holes. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and yes, welcome to this exciting episode where we will be reviewing a movie called Pieces of a Woman.
Yes.
This is a Netflix produced movie, and we watched it. And
We certainly did.
Todd, your tie-in, using the word baby in the song because the baby
Yes.
features prominently in this movie.
True.
So, we'll get into that in a minute. But first I'll mention that Shia LaBeouf,
Shia. Let's just say Shia.
Shia. Yes, this is our second Shia LaBeouf movie that we've watched.
What was our first?
The first one was the, shoot, I just looked at it. It only has one name. It's about the girl.
Oh, no, it was American Honey.
American
right?
Honey. There you go. It has two names.
Ugh, yeah.
So, I feel like he plays a somewhat similar character in this movie. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a famous person that's in this, and Ellen Burstyn, I think, is famous. She's in this, and I'm gonna say Vanessa Kirby's not really famous. She plays the main character.
I don't know about that. I think you just haven't seen her newest movies.
Well, what are they?
She was in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw,
Okay,
as the sister of Jason Statham is her character.
gotcha.
And then she was also in the newest Mission Impossible movie,
Oh yes.
Mission Impossible Fallout, and then she's also in the new one that they're making now. So, let's
I
just
heard
say
they're making two at a time right now. They're
probably
making 7 and 8 at the same time before Tom Cruise dies.
Yeah, I mean he is like 58 at this
Yeah,
point,
super
and looks like he's in his 30s.
old. Yeah.
So
It's all the
Scientology, yeah, must be
Scientology.
doing something right.
Yes.
So let's just say she's up and coming.
All right.
Maybe
An
I won't say
up-and-coming
famous.
Vanessa
She's
Kirby
very up and coming.
plays the main character. And that's all the famous people who are in it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I didn't really recognize anyone else.
Okay, so what's this movie about? Well, Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf, their characters, Martha and Sean, are having a baby. And the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, of this 2 hour and 6 minute movie,
Yeah.
are the baby being born, and then the baby dies.
Yes.
So that's the starting point of the movie, and the rest of the movie is about how Martha deals with the loss of this while being abused by everyone in her life who treat her like crap for the rest of the movie.
Yes. Yes.
So her partner, good old Sean,
Sean.
treats her like crap. Her mother, Ellen Burstyn, Elizabeth, treats her like crap. Her sister treats her like crap. Her brother-in-law treats her like crap. Well, not really. He's kind of a minor character.
He's just kind of there.
He's just
We'll
there.
get into it. I somewhat disagree with the fact that Sean treats her like crap. I think he does treat her like crap eventually, but he certainly doesn't start treating her like crap, I think. But
He does
We'll
not. You're right. You're right.
we'll start. We'll dissect that in our individual talkings.
All right. We will do
But
that.
I think we are similar. We are on the same page. I think when
Yes.
it comes to this movie.
So anyway, there's not a whole lot of plot development that goes on. It's really just sort of the relationships and how they're sort of evolving around the death of the child. Um,
Yes,
and
and
that
the possibility of them suing the midwife.
oh yes,
That like they had a home birth
right.
and they had a midwife who they had a planned midwife, and then when the baby started to come, the midwife that they wanted couldn't show up for some reason, so she sent another midwife in her stead of some sort.
That's true. That is an important part of the plot.
Yeah.
Is that the midwife was getting sued,
Yes.
and not just for this one incident, for many incidents apparently. So
Yes.
so that's kind of what the movie's about. Todd, what did you think of this film?
So okay, I'm gonna start with some of the positives, to get those out of the way, so that I can focus on the negatives, which is I think why people listen to at least what I have to say. They want to hear me crap on it. This movie in some ways reminded me of Marriage Story, in the sense of there are incredibly long scenes that seem like, and I don't know, because you can fix this up with movie magic, that seem like it's all one continuous long shot that is acting, and I like that, because it gives the actors a chance to really act instead of just quick cuts and stuff like that. It kind of feels like those kind of things are a little cheap, but unnecessary for some type of films. But this one, there are like a couple of just really long shots where people have to like really act their butts off during it, and the beginning of the movie is very much like that. It is seamlessly like a long 20-minute shot, which I don't really think that's what happened. They probably played a little movie magic in there, but it is played like that, and it is, the actors really have to carry it through this kind of home birth, and then complications, and then delivery, and then the baby's there, and then the baby kind of passes away, unfortunately. And then there's also, by Martha's mom, there's an incredible monologue that she gives, maybe like an hour and 10 to 20 minutes into the movie, that is really really good, even though you're kind of, in my opinion, you're not sure. Yeah, I mean, by that point I decided I didn't like her character, but the actress gives an incredible monologue and performance. Like, I think acting wise this movie is really good. I don't like Shia LaBeouf, and I will kind of stay on that train forever, and I think his performance is okay. There are moments of this really that he does really well, and then there's moments where I'm like, you seem like you're phoning it in right now. I think Vanessa Kirby does a really really good job. That's her name, right? Martha. That's the
Yes,
actress's name.
yes,
Okay.
that's right.
I think she does a really good job in this movie, and um, there's just so much in this movie. You kind of feel almost every emotion during this movie with this plight of this couple and what's going on, and obviously the character Martha is the biggest victim in this movie of, um, how do you continue your normal life after a tragedy like that? And I think a lot of people in the movie expect her to just bounce back, really, and just, why aren't you normal, or why aren't you like whatever. So I think acting wise, this movie is really really good. And like I said, the long shots, I think direction wise and almost even cinematography is really good. I The beginning of the movie is so frustrating to me because I don't know if I really support home births, which is has almost nothing to do with the movie. I mean, as far as like a review of the movie, but I found the first 20 something minutes just frustrating because I don't think we came so far in the medical field to go back to saying let's just do it at home. Um, and I just the movie. It's the hardest parts for me for this movie are the characters and whether or not you, I don't know how to say this, support what they're doing, I guess. So after the tragedy, Martha gets incredibly distant from Sean and wants to like donate the baby to science, and all he wants to do is really bury her and kind of honor her, and it creates this kind of adds this at odds thing, and things just really start to deteriorate. Um, and there is a lot of emotional abuse in this movie and some physical abuse, and it just makes it through an awkward sit through at times. I mean, I guess this stuff really does happen, and unfortunately, Matt, you and I know friends who have kind of been through this, and we're there with them through this time, and that did not make me enjoy this movie. Almost reliving that tragedy in my mind while I was watching it. But that's not the movie's fault. That's just, I don't know, hitting a little close to home in some areas. Um, yeah, I don't. The direction of this movie kind of falls apart to me more than halfway through. And there's like some resolution to some characters, and then there's no resolution to other characters, which was very frustrating to me. I just think it kind of felt like to me halfway through the movie that the writer of the movie didn't really know how they were going to end the story, and were kind of grasping at straws at times on what's next, what are they going to do, all this kind of stuff. So as far as like should you watch this movie, I think it is pretty much a good movie. It's just a hard movie to watch. So if you just want to be entertained by a movie, this movie is not for you. It's just a super serious 2 hour ride, which is fine if that's what you're into. So if that's what you like, go see this movie. For me, it just was a hard experience. And it's not necessarily 100% the movie's fault. It's just because of what I've personally been through and what I've experienced. I didn't like reliving that. So if you can handle subject matters like this and this is up your alley, then go watch it. It's a Netflix original film, I believe, and it's there for you to watch, so go for it. But if you're like me and sometimes you just want to watch a movie to escape real life, then this is not the one for you, and maybe you should skip it. But I can't tell you to skip it because it's quote unquote a bad movie. It's just a hard movie, if that makes sense. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave it and turn it over to you, Matt. How did you feel?
Well,
Also, for my liking, we see way too much of Shia LaBeouf's penis in this movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that was frustrating to me. I don't want to see Shia LaBeouf's ding dong, but I was forced to in this movie.
that is correct. And that was a low point for me as well.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I agree about the acting. I think overall the acting was good. I also don't really like Shia LaBeouf. I think he plays things in a creepy way,
yes,
and especially with sexual scenes. I felt this way about American Honey, and I feel this way about this movie. I feel like he did things that were uncomfortable to watch,
yeah,
and probably were uncomfortable to act
yeah,
for his partner. But that being said, you know, overall, I think the acting was good. Um, there are a couple monologue scenes that are pretty strong. You mentioned the one from Ellen Burstyn, but there's also one from Vanessa Kirby in the
Sure.
courtroom at
Yeah.
the end. That's pretty
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Um, excuse me, but uh, I didn't like this movie,
Hmm.
and I'll tell you why. It was maybe there was some of that hitting home close to home, but there's also I didn't like other than Martha. I didn't like any other character. Um,
Yeah.
and I thought that yes, at the beginning, Shia LaBeouf's character was more or less a loving partner to Martha, but he was still kind of a jerk even when he was being loving. And
Yeah.
then he once they became estranged, he was really just a jerk,
Sure. I
mostly.
mean, he went off the rails.
Yes, he went off
Yeah.
the rails, and then, yeah.
But it's
So
probably also important to mention that his character is in sobriety. He's like 6 years sober, and of course, through a tragedy like this, that gets severely tested.
correct. And the mother character, Ellen Burstyn's character, Elizabeth, was just the epitome of the controlling, domineering, uh, take control of your life mother
Yeah.
figure. Um, and basically, throughout the movie, I was rooting for Martha to just cut ties with everyone and start over on her own, which
Yeah.
is close to what happens, I guess. But um, yeah, so I felt a sense of stress while I was watching this entire movie because
Sure.
I feel like you had the 20-minute beginning part, which was stressful because the baby's being born. Also, minor point, the prosthetics that they used to make her pregnant, and also the baby actually coming out of the vagina
Yeah.
uh, were pretty bad
Yeah.
as
Not a
prosthetics go.
not a fan. I
Yeah.
also, I mean, eh, when um when my kid was born, we were in labor for a long time, and then we had a C-section. But I don't remember. It's almost like a point that they really were hammering home in this 20-minute scene was burping and gas. Like it was so prevalent, and I don't remember any of that when my ex was in labor. Like I don't. That was not an experience I had during that. And we were in labor for a pretty long time before the C-section.
Yeah, I think that's something some women have and not all women do. I know that my wife, with our first child, uh, she did throw up. At our
Okay.
second child, no, nothing.
Okay.
So it's probably person by person and case by case, but I don't know.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense. It just really felt like at times, they were hamming that up during that scene. But
I I do feel like there was a little bit of uh, extreme loopiness that Martha was in, which I guess is sort of normal. You're in this really adrenalized situation,
sure.
but she didn't have any drugs to make her loopy, so it
Right.
was just all natural loopiness,
Sure.
which I guess could happen. But anyway, um, so yeah, you get 20 minutes of the stress of childbirth, and then the sadness of the 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 baby girl dying, and then the rest of the movie is just stressful because you're like, you want Martha to make it, you want her to figure things out, you want people to not be jerks to her,
Yeah.
and it takes the whole movie for any of that to come close to happening. So
True.
uh, that's where I'll end my diatribe and say I didn't like it. Um, I will say if you're in for like a you want to feel some emotion from a movie, you could pick this one up. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's going to be positive emotion, but it'll make you feel something.
I would almost guarantee it's not going to be positive emotion.
Right. And I would say if you've lost a child, probably skip this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where I'll say I've said my piece, and I'll leave it
Yeah.
there.
Um. All right. So, how many prosthetic baby bellies would you give this movie? 0 to
Prosthetic baby
5.
bellies, yes.
Prosthetic baby bellies.
Um,
PBB.
uh, I could have. I was wondering where you were going to go with it. I thought you could have gone with apples or apple seeds
Yeah.
or bridges being built.
I the I didn't want to truly get into it because it's just like really hard. It's kind of hard to explain, but darn it, if that some of the imagery of this movie is really like you're caught up in these scenes and you're like, man, this is all really heavy. And then there's like an imagery that just kind of hammers it home, and you're like, that's not necessary. Like after a one fight they had in the house, the camera pans over to their house plant dying. And I'm like, no, I get it. Their marriage is dying. I'm not stupid. But you want to like hover on this scene and be like, oh, we got to throw some imagery in here. Oh, here's a bridge. Yeah, we get it. They're very separate right now. Like, and the bridge is getting back together, but they're not. Like, I just that kind of stuff bothers me when they almost feels like filmmakers think you're kind of dumb. Like that you can't put two and two together. But darn it, I can, and it's 4.
4.
Yeah.
It's 4.
I said you can't put two and two together.
Oh,
I said
oh,
I can. It's
gotcha.
4. I
I
mean,
thought
it
you were
doesn't
giving
sound
your.
as good when I have to explain it.
I thought you were giving your rating early. I was like
No,
4.
not
Okay.
at all. Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give this a 2.2 prosthetic baby bellies,
Hmm.
which is a little
Mm-hmm.
below average,
Sure.
but it's I really didn't enjoy watching this movie,
Yeah.
and it's not like if it was just based on my enjoyment, I probably would have given it a 1.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
there are good things about the movie, so that raises it up a bit, but not super high for me. So
Sure.
2.2 prosthetic baby bellies out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's what becomes the hard point about rating a movie like this is because I think there's technical things in here and acting that is like all really good, but uh as far as like enjoyment of the movie, there was little for me. So that makes it very hard. I'd be the same way with you. If I rated just off of did I enjoy this movie, I'd be like probably at a 1. No, no, I can't say that because I wasn't as mad at this movie as I was Cats. And I think Cats got a 1 from me, so I can't put it on par with Cats. But yeah, so I mean I guess I'm like at a I don't know. I don't This is a hard one. I'm going to say 2.4, I think. Like I don't want to put it at average because I didn't enjoy my experience, but I want to at least give some credit to some acting. The directing in this movie I think was okay at times. Besides the stupid imagery that they were really hammering down your throat, like I think the long scenes and the camera angles of the scenes and making it all happen probably was really hard, and they did it pretty well. So, but yeah, I'm at a 2.4 prosthetic baby bellies.
Well, there you have it. So, so yeah, that's going to put our average rating for Pieces of a Woman at 2.3 prosthetic baby bellies out of 5, which is not great. But we already told you we don't think you should watch it unless you fall into certain categories. And if you're in one of those categories, you probably rate it higher.
Sure,
So,
yeah. If you want to watch a movie and be sad the whole time, then
Have
yeah,
at it.
yeah, right up your alley.
Yes. So, before we wrap up this episode, do you know what movie we're going to be watching next, Todd?
I don't because I always want it to be a surprise. I don't like to look.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know that it's going to be a classic comedy from 1997,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Good Burger.
Oh boy, you really, you really suckered me in for that one.
Yeah.
How the heck does Good Burger make it to the top 10 for Netflix? Like, it's not like it's even new on Netflix. I don't think it's been there for a while. I thought.
Well,
I feel
I'm
like
not sure.
I've seen it on there before, and I've been like, Good Burger, no thank you.
But today it's number 2 in America
Unbelievable.
on Netflix.
They must have a Good Burger like Good Burger website. Or someone was like, you know what, everyone watch this movie on this specific day, so we can get Matt and Todd to review it. So.
I hope that's the motivation, and if so, I'll gladly watch it. Um,
Uh,
so, that'll be for next time. For this time, thank you for listening to our podcast. We'll keep making them.
I have to say that the Good Burger skits and all that were the worst part of that show to me. So now I have to watch. I have seen the movie. It's been a long, long time, but now I have to watch the movie.
I've never seen the movie Todd.
Did you ever see all that? The sketch show where that specific sketch was born?
No,
Oh, well, you were not a younger person like me. Who?
I was not.
Yeah.
You're a
What are
little
you?
younger than I
You're
am.
10 years older than me.
Yes,
8 years older. You're not,
10.
yeah. Just a little too much of a gap there, I think.
Yep.
So.
Well, anyway, enjoy that. Enjoy our review of that next time.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.